Hello, race fans. Race fans. Welcome back to another. Yes, welcome back to another exciting NASCAR Melling Series event. So you can see we have 6 races to go. We're at a diamond and not quite the desert. It's the Big O! We're at the Ontario Motor Speedway for tonight's race. Today's race. Oh yeah, I should mention what today's race is. We got an interesting, we got 6 drivers in points within a race of the points lead. This is the Los Angeles Times 500. We couldn't really, in good faith, name it anything else. Jeff Lynn, he's going to be on the front row, starting next to Ian Anderson, who is in second in points, with the race missed and only 13 points behind the points leader, Joe Biden. Iggy Koopa will line up next to Al Capone in the second row. Then Hank Hill will start next to Mark Martin. Tom Jones will be next to Morgan Freeman, and Billy Mays and Blaze Alexander round out the top 10. Then it's Brian Wilson and Peter Perfect. Pair of teammates on row 7. 2018 Series champion Richard Simmons next to Tom Hanks. Snoop Dogg next to Grover Cleveland, and Telly Savalas next to Bob Ross. Denzel Washington rounds out the top 20, starting next to points leader Joe Biden. Then Donald Fagen will be next to Hut Strickland. Geddy Lee, 7th in points, starts next to defending series champion Harrison Ford. Woody Harrelson and Woody Woodpecker. Woodpecker is 6th in points, 132 back. Bela Fleck will start next to James Bond, and then it is Walter White and Count Dracula. And Crow T Robot, 4th in points, only 73 out of the points lead. Here in row 16, along with Jerry Springer. Then it's Rick Scott and Alfred Hitchcock. Brendan Gaughan, who's 63 points back, starts deep in the field next to Al Roker. Then Stephen George, who's 109 back, 5th in points, starts next to John Cena. Then it's David Dayton and Marco Polo. Rounding out the field, Carl Edwards in the Special Olympics scheme in its last appearance this season, and Kathy Bates. Interesting that they're not on pit road at all. Yeah, we had a few drivers that won't even make the starting grid for today's race. A couple of part-time entries didn't make it, notably Nathan McCain and Francis Brown, Pomona, California native, will not be racing here at Ontario. A few full-time drivers also missed the show. Casper the Friendly Ghost misses the race, along with Burt Reynolds and Chick Corea. I'm not even sure if Mark Martin has raced at the Ontario Motor Speedway before. I'm not sure anybody else in the field has. But yes, this is the last race in the West Coast Swing. 30 races are done. It was Portland last week, and honestly, I forgot who won there. I wouldn't be surprised if it was like John Cena or something. No. Somebody lower in points. I don't remember who. We'll find out later. Anyway, let's go trackside for the most famous words in all of motorsports. Wow, I couldn't find a more boring sounding Grand Marshal. I'm Surprised he didn't fall asleep during the command. Alright, here we go. "42 drivers for 50 laps," or whatever. It's gonna be a long one. This track is a 2.5 mile square. Rectangle, I should say. Banked at 9 degrees, short chutes banked at 4. Apparently, Ian Anderson has demolished the track record. Looks like where the infield road course is. Is there a bump or something right there? What's going on? So, this is very similar to Indianapolis. There's just an apron for a lot of the track instead of that warm-up lane. There's also a drag strip right there that turns into the front stretch. I mean, in the pits. Ian Anderson, Jeff Lynn leading us down, and we are green here in Ontario. Ian Anderson shooting out to the race lead after just one corner. Now it's going to be Iggy Koopa coming up here to take a shot looking towards the race lead. Down the backstretch they go, this long back straightaway. See, some of these drivers are already stringing out. Jeff Lynn's gonna try and go for second. No! Iggy Koopa throws the block. He's going for the race lead himself. But Ian Anderson will power off. Very quiet, as you can see the field trying to string themselves out. Joe Biden up to 14th. That's a good run for him. He needs it in points. Jeff Lynn going underneath Iggy Koopa. That was like the most perfect flyby that there could be. Wow. Ian Anderson. Oh, now he's getting taken to the inside by Jeff Lynn. Do you want the lead? Jeff Lynn is a leader. Through 1 and 2, though, Iggy Koopa is going to take the lead. Iggy Koopa leads over Morgan Freeman, Al Capone. These top three Freeman's one, my bad. One in the state, too. Bleeds over Capone. As you can see, Jeff Lynn's already faded back. Ian Anderson is just ahead of Joe Biden. That's not where he needs to be if he wants to win this race. Fastest lap is tied between Hut Strickland and Geddy Lee. Hut Strickland scored in 12th at the line last time, and Geddy Lee was and still is in 15th spot. Mark Martin trying to make things happen. Now Morgan Freeman joins him on the inside as well. As they go underneath the 42 and 44, Billy Mays up here. Morgan Freeman is going to clear in the first of the short chutes. I don't know if it's north or south. Apparently that's dead north, so it must have been the south short chute. This would be the west, east, west. That's west, that's north. Yes, so this is the south straightaway. So they're heading towards the east. They're in the east short chute. Morgan Freeman leading in the Habitat for Humanity car. Nice to see that one having a good run. The other really charity scheme in here is the Special Olympics subway car, which is running at the back of the pack. There's a Coke Polar Bear. Brendan Gaughan not having a good race at all. We got a 5-car breakaway at the front of the pack, including 3 drivers who have to qualify in every week. Morgan Freeman, Mark Martin, who runs part-time, and Grover Cleveland. They've opened up about a second gap on the rest of the field. An interesting mix of cars. 2 Dodges, 2 Pontiacs, and a Ford. No Chevrolets, Toyotas, or Renaults. And they fell back another second. It's Joe Biden trying to make a championship securing move here. Grover Cleveland fading a little, it looks like. Mark Martin, that's 60 all over the back of the 20 here. You make it to lap 17, I feel like. So we might see people down. You should be able to make it in 2 stops. If anything before, it could be a 3-stop race. Because there will be stops. Mark Martin peaking. And here's probably the reason why. You can see they're going 2 by 2. A lot of this pack battling for position while this lead quintet stays single file for the most part. Now it's 2.5 seconds back from the 45 to the 12. Now here's interesting. Now that, they're down to 3.5. Jeff Lynn going for 6th. Now we have, it looks like two small, this front, oh, well, battle for the lead. Mark Martin trying to get around Morgan Freeman. This is interesting because the top two had separated slightly. I don't know if this will affect anything at the line. Mark Martin takes the lead, and the gap now 3.5 seconds. These guys are just look slower in general. 3. Although Brian Wilson is trying to give it the old college try. Actually, at the moment, I think he's catching back up. 4.771 versus a 4 or 47 point. Yeah. Is going to need to keep running that. Keep running better. The more these guys try to pass each other, the more that'll help the rest of this field. There we go. Iggy Koopa trying to get to the inside of Billy Mays. Will he get the... Yeah? No, he doesn't. Mays shuts the door. And Hut Strickland's going for 6th place, so there's that. Yeah, look at that. It just lost nearly a second. Look at that gap Hut Strickland has bridged. And now Brendan Gaughan's towards the back of the pack. Mark Martin leads. Billy Mays 2nd. Morgan Freeman 3rd. Grover Cleveland 4th. Iggy Koopa has fallen to 5th place. Hut Strickland, Joe Biden, Tom Jones, Brian Wilson, and Geddy Lee will be the order after 14 laps. As Billy Mays making an aggressive move. I'm not sure how this is going to work out. I don't think it is working out. Now Grover Cleveland to the inside of Morgan Freeman. These guys are going to need a caution if they want to have another chance at winning this race. Or they're going to have great pits that look at this. Freeman fighting back on the outside. Grover Cleveland trying to use the inside to his advantage. There's Freeman. Freeman still. Morgan Freeman, now he might be able to clear. Iggy Koopa's looking like maybe he wanted to pass Grover Cleveland. Todd Strickland did slightly lose ground on Mark Martin, but did gain on the bat on Iggy Koopa due to the fact that they are running. Todd Strickland, now here comes Joe Biden to try and track him down. Oh, we got a crash! We got a crash! Rick Scott into the wall. No caution? No caution. So it looks like, oh, Harrison Ford put him in the wall. And we got pitters right before halfway. Cautions are on. They just didn't throw the yellow. New Grover Cleveland is your leader. Al Roker, Richard Simmons, Bela Fleck staying out. They have got the smart strategy. Well, They're probably going to get undercut terribly, but they probably won't have to pit at the end of the race. Here comes Grover Cleveland in. There's Mark Martin, Billy Mays, Morgan Freeman, Iggy Koopa. Hut Strickland has caught Koopa. Koopa had a slow. Biden, Jones. Only 3 wide at points, leaving the pits. Oh, not a good stop. Rick Scott with a slow stop because he had to repair damage. Will end up a lap down because here comes Grover Cleveland. Cleveland, your leader. There goes the lead. Billy Mays at speed in the 1. Cleveland's getting up to speed. He's got to slow down for 2. That's the problem. Here comes Billy Mays, and Billy Mays is going to sweep by and take the race lead. Mark Martin a second. Morgan Freeman will easily take third. Grover Cleveland is going to end up in 4th, though. You can see how spread out the field is now. That lack of a caution was very interesting. Billy Mays and Mark Martin seems to be the battle. Perhaps Morgan Freeman as well. Almost a half a lap separates. About a half a lap separates the entire field now. Several mini pods all over the track. Ian Anderson has really faded to 20th. He did not need that. Crow's in 15th. That's good for his championship hopes. So there goes Joe Biden in the 5th place. Hut Strickland's also here. You get some chaos going on. We know Talladega's coming up in a couple of weeks. He could get back. Here's Grover Cleveland all by himself. Running in 4th position. Scored 2 seconds behind the field. He's about as far apart from the 60 as he is from the 42 and 12. Well, not the 42 anymore, because the 42's in 7th. Mike Martin taking a look to the inside of Morgan Freeman. It will not work. The dice there are no. This pack just looks like they're running away from Carl. Grover Cleveland. Still in 4th. Mark Martin trying to find a way around Morgan Freeman. 21 laps here about now in the books here at the Big O, Ontario Motor Speedway. No cautions, though we did have Rick Scott get it into the wall in turn 2. Oh, Scott's actually, yeah, he's a couple seconds off the pace, so yeah. It's just a pick. Back towards the front, we see Biden, Strickland, Koopa are starting to catch up to Grover Cleveland a bit as Mark Martin has gotten around Morgan Freeman. Tom Jones, Al Roker could also try to catch up to him. Well, this string of 7. Probably a good size pack here. Crow T Robot just out of reach Elharter's championship hopes. Unless Biden keeps getting shuffled around here, that should help somewhat. Help massively if Crow was in here because he could get shuffled up to the front. At a Biden. Biden could So we got a couple of tactical races going on. .38. We got one blowing. The other M&M's car is blowing up. Hank Hill. Just lost it in the one. Lost his engine. He's gonna come to a halt. He just comes to a halt. Is it gonna bring out the yellow flag? No. He must have been far enough off the racing surface. Hut Strickland gonna move in the 5th place. As this group of 3 closes in on Grover Cleveland. Biden shuffled to the back of this pack to 7th place. And now Mark Martin will take the lead from Billy Mays at the halfway point here in the Los Angeles Times 500. Here at the Big O. It's essentially a strung out 4-car pack now. With this 7-car pack, very strung out 7-car pack, Jason. This pack isn't working together as well, but it is bigger than the lead pack. Getting chased by an even bigger group. Will these 4 catch the 3 before the 7 catch the 4? Will he even catch them at all? Will we have another engine problem? The 17 of Jerry Springer hitting the apron in turn 1. There's Hank Hill, who's getting the tow. These guys are catching a bit. These guys don't look like it. There you can see Jerry Springer. Basically a whole... trying to limp it back. The leaders are probably good. They're not going to be aware Jerry Springer pit unless their spotters tell them to, because he's already on the pit road. There is the 60 of Mark Martin leading the 36 of Billy Mays, the 20 of Morgan Freeman. Grover Cleveland, Iggy Koopa, Hot Strickland, Joe Biden. This group is forming up to almost be a strung out pack of 8. And these guys aren't catching at the moment. Hank Hill's already dropped out of this one. As work continues on the Jerry Springer machine. Now, after 41 seconds of service, he is out and traveling back down pit road towards the end. As Billy Mays is going for the lead now, coming to 20 laps to go at the line this time by. These all people pitted on lap 16 last. They might have to pit once more after this. They can make it to lap 33. They should be good. Now, Mark Barton going for the race lead. Or going for second. It's going to allow these drivers to close on up. Billy Mays enjoying some time, much needed time alone at the front of the pack right now. Round turn 3. Down the west short shoot. Round turn 4. Still leads by about a half a second. 3/5. 6/10 of a second. The field really stringing out here. Teams are laying out to pit. We're hearing pit crews are laying out on pit road right now. None of these three pit. They should be able to make it to the end of the race. Hut Strickland's going to come in early. He's only pit 16 laps. He's going to have to run 18 to make it to the end. So will Donald Fagan, Crow, Peter Perfect, Woody Woodpecker, Walter White, Woody Harrelson, Marco Polo. These drivers all might not make it to the end of the race. Now the people who can pit here just ran at least they've run at least 117 lap stint and should be able to make it to the end. That's pretty much everybody. Billy Mays leads. Anybody who stays out will definitely be able to make it. But nobody is staying out. Rick Scott comes to pit road. Some very wide pit stalls. Oh, look at this. Oh, great pit stops for Joe Biden. Several drivers. Crow didn't. Oh, well, no, Crow came in already. This time did the undercut work. Probably not, but only because nobody here in the front tried the undercut. We really don't have much in the line of data to go on. This is where the first undercut driver is Donald Fagan, who had his speed advantage neutralized. He's in 12th. Biden in 5th. Grover Cleveland's now in 3rd as Billy Mays and Mark Martin fight for the race win. Crow is up to 13th. Looking like it could be a two-car tango to the end of the race between the 36 and the 60. So we've got 15 laps to go here in the Los Angeles Times 500. Here's Billy Mays leading the pitchman himself. Anthony Sullivan calling the shots on top of the pit box of that 36. But here comes Mark Martin. He's been a championship runner-up 5 different times in his career. He's got the most career wins out of anybody in this field, with, I believe, 42. The most recent being at Bristol last year in the night race. He's going for the lead. He can't get there. We see the lapped car of Rick Scott on the far horizon. And Brendan Gaughan looks like he's going to fall out of championship contention. Oh, this is good. Crow's in this pack. Oh, that's very good. Oh, but this is very good for Joe Biden. 13 laps to go. Billy Mays trying to hold on. The harder these drivers push themselves, the more likely they are going to run out of fuel on the last lap. Because we've seen a lot of these drivers have done a 16-lap stint and then a 17-lap stint. If they do a 17-lap stint here, then they're good to the end. If they can only go 16 laps, they're pitting at the white. They'll run out on the last lap. They can only complete 12 laps to go. There's 30 miles around this 2.5 mile oval. A sister track to Indianapolis. This is the last race in our West Coast swing. We're going to Charlotte after this. So is the Melling Series. The trucks are heading to Gateway. They are catching Rick Scott by about 3 seconds every lap. These guys are catching, but are they catching enough? Probably not enough. It looks like a 7-car battle. We're not going to have a 14-car battle. That would have been really nice. 11 laps to go. Billy Mays holding on over Mark Martin. They've got a second advantage over Grover Cleveland, who himself is about a half a second ahead of Morgan Freeman. Iggy Koopa, Joe Biden, and Al Roker all in the mix of this. Here comes Mark Martin as they're coming up on Rick Scott. in the 0-2. Where is he going to go? Because he could determine the outcome of this race here. Oh, Billy Mays held on in 3 as they come out of 4. They'll catch him. Mays, it looks like, will catch him on the front stretch. That's good for him. Mark Martin faded. Really faded. He might not even get him before turn 1. Oh! Martin nearly ran into the back of him. He held him up. Grover Cleveland's right there now. Billy Mays could be en route to winning this race, but Jerry Springer's also off pace. Morgan Freeman also trying to get by the 0-2. There goes Iggy Koopa, Joe Biden, Al Roker. The second group. Coming to 9 to go. Mays, once again, looks like he will catch Jerry Springer on the front stretch. But this time, Mark Martin and Grover Cleveland sail it in a little faster and a little harder and can get around the 17. What about the 20? Can Morgan Freeman get to the inside? No, not before the end of the corner. Brendan Gaughan is too far. He's too fast to be a factor. He's on pace. Mark Martin is just a few car lengths behind this 36. Eight to go for Billy Mays. That is 20 miles. These guys are up to 4.5 seconds back. That was actually slightly catching. Battle for third. Morgan Freeman around Grover Cleveland. Now Iggy Koopa trying to take it. Now we have 3 Dodges, 2 Fords, and 2 Pontiacs. Almost 3. They are 3 wide for fourth. Between the 3 Dodges, Iggy Koopa in the middle. Cleveland on the outside. Biden on the inside. Koopa gets the better of that. Biden, and then Cleveland the worst off. These guys are trying to haul. Maybe a little bit too much. Now Morgan Freeman is attacking. 6 to go. He's on the back bumper of the 60 of Mark Martin. Here goes Morgan Freeman. He has not won in a while, I don't think. I believe the last time Morgan Freeman won was last year at Michigan. That was the week before Mark Martin won. Jerry Springer down pit road. Oh, is he going to play a factor in this finish once again? He could. Buying up here now, these guys are falling back. Maybe not. Oh, he might not be. You don't think he was not. He's going so slow. He's not going to be a factor. I thought he might. But there they all go blowing by him. Billy Mays is being hounded by Morgan Freeman with 5 laps to go at Ontario. 5 other drivers just hoping they can catch back up. It is a 7-car race. It will most likely be a 7-car race. One of these 7 winning unless they all run out. Freeman with a peak. Iggy Koopa trying to catch. Cleveland going for fourth on Joe Biden. There's Mark Martin and Al Roker. Roker's been in the 6-2 of the past 3 years. The only season he wasn't out of the past was last year when Mark Martin was in the 6. 10 miles left. 4 to go. It might be a 3-car race. Iggy Koopa trying to go to the inside of Morgan Freeman. No dice. Through turn 4, Billy Mays. Morgan Freeman trying to look for a high line. Iggy Koopa once again trying to look to get by Morgan Freeman. He's making the move, going into turn 1. Can he make it stick on the corner entry? Yes, he does. But it looks like Morgan Freeman is going to power off. In a 2. Oh, Iggy Koopa's back on his back bumper. This is relentless, and this is exactly what Billy Mays wants to see. This is exactly what Grover Cleveland wants to see. Cleveland looks like he's going to get in this battle. Now, Morgan Freeman, is he catching Billy Mays? A lot of people are concerned. Trying to aggressively see if anybody is going to hit pit lane. 2 laps to go. The caution is actually out. James Bond was around. This time he got sent around by Tom Hanks. And that did bring out the yellow, probably because he backed up. And this will probably save anybody who was going to have to pit. As they usually say, 2 caution flag laps is usually equal to 1 green flag lap. And guess what? They had to come in a lap, and there was 2 laps to go. Not unless they ran it really dry, and it doesn't appear that way. So Billy Mays just has to circle behind his pace car for 1 1/4 more laps! Crow hits the apron. Peter Perfect. That's because they had pitted on lap 32. They couldn't go 18 laps. Oh, this throws the points battle in a complete disarray. And by disarray, I mean Joe Biden looking like he's going to win the championship even stronger with only 5 races left. Splash of fuel. The 9, Peter Perfect didn't even take service. 90, wow. Some drivers who are having decent races. But Billy Mays is less than 2 miles away from winning the Los Angeles Times 500. Oil leak on the 6. Is this going to cause Al Roker to pit from 7th? Free spots for some of these drivers. Brendan Gaughan's probably happy. That would have been very interesting. Had we not. I was definitely surprised there was a caution. Considering we had a driver stop, we had pretty much Rick Scott is what surprised me. Rick Scott did not warrant a yellow flag. Al Roker is not leaking enough fluid for them justifying pitting at the checkered flag. Nobody else will bring it down for service, it appears. That means Billy Mays is going to cross the finish line at 70 miles an hour to win the Los Angeles Times 500. There are your results as they update constantly. Your official standings and your 31st Vernors Cup Series race of 2020. There is your bottom. Bottom? Hank Hill had the biggest heartbreak letdown thingy-mabobber. Okay, oh yeah, Chick Corea. It was last week's winner, Chick Corea, who missed. Wow, last week's winner missed. Wow, this is just like... Alright, Joe Biden, your points leader. Ian Anderson, the only driver within a race. He's 43 back. Gaughan is 152 back. Stephen George, 156. And we've got some eliminations. David Dayton's out of it. Rick Scott, mathematically the highest driver in points. Who can still win this title? Blaze Alexander's still yet to post a top 10, the only full-time driver yet to do so. Even Casper the Friendly Ghost has that one top 10. Alexander, Ghost, and Count Dracula, and Tom Jones, the only ones without top 5s. Even Walter White has had that win. Rick Scott, David Dayton, Morgan Freeman, Burt Reynolds even. Ian Anderson. 6 laps, 143, John Cena. Brian Wilson, David Dayton. Mark Martin. Yeah, it should be a good one. We hope to see you next time. Stephen George is up there. Billy Mays up 7 spots in points. Top 5 all have race wins this season. That's incredible. 5 races left. The Roval is next weekend. That should be interesting. Until then, take care, everybody. Here from everyone at the Western Cave Sports Network. Have a good day.